You may have noticed that my Instagram has been stuck on 1.4 million followers for well over a year now. It's not budged, and I'll tell you why. I used to think the way to make more money was to go more viral, and I had it completely wrong. Since I started aiming for less views in my content, I've nearly 5 times the amount of money that I make. Right here on the screen, you'll see that my main YouTube channel so far this year has made me £916. Then I have this slightly smaller channel, and people see the views and sometimes comment, bro fell off. But so far this year, as of the 19th of January, $162,000. But it's not really all mine. Got ads, the team. If you boil it down, I think we're running at about 55% margin. So 162 sounds amazing. About 71 is mine. Then my manager gets his cut. He'll laugh right now when he's watching this because he'll go, yeah, and the rest. Costs, podcasts, venues. But if I actually work it down to how much I've earned each day, it's about $3,700, which is nice. It's less sexy than the big number. But the good news is I probably only have to do about 4 or 5 hours a day of work to get that. So what changed? Well, before I was trying to build an audience of viewers, not buyers. And I'm going to give you the exact framework to how you can do it so you can also make millions, even if you don't get to keep it all. Because I certainly don't get to keep it all. In fact, I look sometimes, I'm like, where's that gone? I don't have it. Who has it? And it also helps a lot of people in my mentorship make more money. I can say grow your business. I can help conversions. I can go through all of that. But ultimately, it's to help you make more money. So first thing first, is virality bad for sales? Absolutely not. But it's not necessarily good. And imagine for a second, boxing. If you're just going for virality, you're throwing a big overhand right hook. Very rarely is it going to hit. What we need is a combination of different types of content. We need a jab, a cross, we need an uppercut, we need hooks. We need to be hitting people from all angles. So we need a mixture of different types of content. And one way to look at this is something called buckets. I've mentioned before that Mr. Beast is guilty of using the same buckets over and over. Last to leave, 24 hours in, biggest versus smallest, most expensive versus cheapest. They then just change a different theme for all of those. Now, when it comes to deciding what buckets we're going to use for our content, it should always be centric to solving problems. Declan, give me a profession. Video editor. Like it. Okay, so problems are going to be editing. So some titles of video concepts here. How Mr. Beast edits his videos, how to edit like Logan Paul, how to improve your editing time, how to edit less and make more money, whatever it is. Cool. Second one could be color grading. Third could be edit platforms. What else do you make content about? Colors, editing, sound. That's a great one. Then the fifth one, we could say, right, we want viral. So we're going to do something that's going to get loads of people to watch our content. We could do something like why Oppenheimer was edited terribly. We could do why Logan Paul's editor should be fired. We could do everyone using CapCut wrong. Whatever it is, we actually aim to be viral. And the reason being is if we look at all of this as being an ecosystem, this might be the video that brings them in, but then these can be the videos that convert. So sometimes when you look at your ecosystem of content, every once in a while you want an outlier that goes viral, but only if 80% or the majority of your videos behind aren't geared for going viral, they're geared instead for converting people to know that you are the person to do business with. So from a strategy already, we need to have buckets. So then every week, Declan could say, Monday is editing video, Tuesday is color grading, Wednesday it's about what platforms, what good or bad. Thursday is about sound, whether it be microphones, treatment, AI, whatever. And Friday is going to be viral. Viral Friday. And he's going to keep an eye on things that are trending on the internet, things pop culture, whatever it is. He's going to keep a note of it. That could be his content bucket. Go on.
So in my situation now, I've made videos in all those topics, but I've realized every time I make a color grading video, it just blows up, gets way more views. Would it make sense to me to stay niche in just that and then build them up around that rather than try and spread it out?
So you make content and everything, but color grading just seems to be the thing. Okay, let me think. Yeah, to be perfectly honest, if this was outperforming all your reels by, let's say, 50%, so let's say all of these get 500, but this one gets 1,000 plus, I would then say, right, you're playing in the wrong bucket. I would say, that's a good question, that. I would then say, we need, what are the 5 main topics of color grading? Okay, so we got exposure.
White balance.
Yep.
Contrast.
Let's make this LUT and let's make this viral. So then you could do all of those videos. Then I might say for this one, how I color grade James Smith content, because some people might lure them in from that. Why Chris Williamson's podcast is color graded wrong. How did this movie get this feel to it? So then you're kind of drawing things in. So have you listened to the Ben Affleck, Matt Damon podcast on Rogan yet? So they're a lot smarter than people think. And Ben Affleck's talking about the shutter speed or the frame speed, it'll be shutter speed, on Saving Private Ryan and what they chose to give it a dramatic effect for the bombs going off. Now, that could be a clip, or that could be something where you go, how Saving Private Ryan felt so real. And in that, you're talking about all of these things with the colors and the camera settings and all those, but you're leaning on the film, the creator, the edit style, whatever it is. So this is really where I would be happy with you aiming for virality, only if it's a part of an ecosystem, because in your exposure, white balance, contrast, and LUT content, I want a lead magnet in all of these. Now, the videos that are designed to go viral, I don't care if there's a lead magnet in it. It'd be great if there was. But really what we want is an end card. Or if it was short form content, they're probably going to end up following. Or even if they don't follow, algorithmically, if they reacted and watched a long amount of that viral reel, the algorithm will go, okay, they were interested. They watched 80% of that reel. The next video they put out, we're going to serve it to them. So that could just be your occasional one. I did that on my main YouTube channel, but my main YouTube channel is kind of a strange one. I still use it at the moment, but it does not pay the bills as you might think. And the way we figured this out was when we launched Newtonic in end of 2023, so just over 2 years ago, I thought, you know what, on this main channel, I've been talking about Whoop, AG1, supplements, calling out fitness fads. I thought those people would go, oh mate, do you know what? That sounds great. I'm ordering some. I go, cool. I just made content for you for like a few years. You're going to support me on my journey. The hatred that I got. And I realized what I'd done is I'd actually built an audience of people that just love seeing people get torn down. I hadn't built a brand. I had built an audience of people that wanted to see AG1 get buried or be told why Whoop was crap. Instead of solving people's problems, I'd actually just torn down businesses for virality. And not enough of my bucket segment was about really improving people's lives. It might have helped some people to a certain extent, but I now have to appreciate that my YouTube channel is more for like awareness than it is operating a business like this one. But some people have come around where they thought that this was just an influencer drop. But now if they go into Morrison's Daily in the UK, it's part of the meal deal. And it's going to be rolling out into another major supermarket very, very soon. If you're in Texas, it's currently in central markets. Anyway, just because that's doing $1 million a month doesn't mean I know what I'm on about. So we need to ask ourselves a question. Why are people in your existing audience not buying yet? Now, whenever I see this, or someone says to me in the Discord, my business mentorship, I'm having an issue with sales. First two things I ask them is, how many new followers, how many on the email list in the last 90 days? Now, some of you will have seen me talking about this before. I have a 4S system where we can determine where the bottleneck is in your business. Socials, squeeze, sell, scale. Now, if you are just making content for virality, I'm gonna look at some of the biggest YouTube accounts out there. They can often be incredibly heavy in their socials, but they haven't really taken the stages necessary to squeeze. And that was one of the trips that I fell into when I was running big. 1.4 million on Instagram, 1.8 million on TikTok, 1.1 million on Facebook, but I haven't really squeezed enough of them. Now, here's a framework that's very, very important. Between these two, 20% is the number you want to aim for. So if your following is 100, you want 20 people on your email list. If it's 10,000, you want 2,000. Then this takes you into one of two places. More common than not, you need more emails. 9 out of 10 people need more emails, and 1 out of 10 people need more followers. So you're either planting seeds or you're harvesting. And sometimes, even if your socials take a little bit of a dip to grow your email list, that's the really, really important place you need to be. So the first reason as to why people aren't buying your stuff is that they're stuck on socials. They haven't had their data taken from them. Now, for instance, if you want to really understand how to get that from someone, I've actually built a completely free course. I'm going to put a link in the description. It's called Lead Magnet Mastery. Like I said, it's completely free. There's no hidden charges or anything like that. And you can get through that in probably about 45 minutes. And it teaches you everything you need to do to get people's email addresses from social media, what you need to give them, how to create the offer. You can get that done as well in a day. You could not only do the whole course, you could create a lead magnet in a day, which means you can start getting email addresses from people. A lot of people had a lot of success with that. Highly recommend it. Took me a long time to make. Please enjoy it. So the first barrier, if your content doesn't get traction, people aren't going to buy stuff. But then you can have millions and millions of followers. If you don't have their data, it can be very difficult to position an offer. Because when you position an offer on social media, we need to appreciate one thing. This circle represents your total following. This circle represents how many of your following are keen to do business with you. So when you post about your offer on social media, these people are interested, but the vast majority aren't. So they swipe away quick, they don't read the caption, they move away. That signals to the algorithm, this post is not good, even compared to their usual. It's not good, doesn't show it to any more people. Instead, what we want is to be able to communicate with these people, often via email. That's why we do that stage in the first place. But then what is it that we do to these people? Well, we need to sell. And selling is where the majority of people make so many mistakes that they're just leaving money on the table. Now, just before we get into sell, some people have the question of how much they should be charging. Very simply, I want you to imagine this. These squares can represent anything. They could be hotel rooms in a hotel that you've built. They could be hours in your diary, or they could be units of energy that you have in a week that cannot be traded, formed, or there's only a certain amount of energy that any person has in a week. When you have an empty diary or an empty hotel and the rooms are full, you want to be cheap. And the reason you want to be cheap is so that you can fill them. And then as you start to fill up, at this point, you still haven't really got the leverage to increase prices. So you keep marketing, keep marketing, keep marketing. Even now, you're nearly there. Now at this point, when you're nearly maxed out from the amount of work or energy or whatever it can, now's where you have the leverage to increase prices. But ultimately, what we want to do is we want to get to full capacity. When we get to full capacity, first of all, we can send a signal back to our email list that we are full. When things are sold out, it sends a signal that a lot of people want what you are selling, service, product, whatever it is. And this gives us the opportunity to create a wait list, which is another form of squeeze. You are saying to people on socials, hey, by the way, currently full, join the waitlist. People are incentivized to do that. Even the people that aren't interested, you might get their attention. Well, wow, how is that person so full? Now, when you increase prices, often I say 10% is a nice amount. Now, here's the beauty. When you put your rates up by 10%, all the people that love you and value you and cherish your services will stay. But some people won't. And this is actually quite good. In all the time that I raised prices, I only lost one client. Laura. I remember you, Laura. I don't even believe you were gluten-free. But when you put your rates up 10%, even looking back at this, even though you've now cleaned up some time in your diary, you're now earning the same money. And what you've now done is actually freed up 4 hours to do more marketing, where you can then make more pieces of content and send more emails, which eventually means that these are going to fill up again. Then when these fill up again, you put your rates up by another 10%. Now, the time between this could be weeks, could be months, could be days, whatever it is. Then a couple clients drop off again. You got 2 more hours where you can start to do more on socials, more on squeeze, and then suddenly they fill up again. And that's going to be your life. Not to mention, when you are busy, if you're on the gym floor or you've got an accountancy firm or someone even inquires and they say, hey, I want to use your services, you go, sorry, I'm full, join the waitlist. This sends people crazy. A bit like when people want to get a 911 GT3. They go to the showroom, I'd like to order a GT3. You can't. I would like to buy a Rolex. You can't. It makes them go so crazy, they go to the grey market and pay excess amounts of money for it. Cool. So that's how you determine how much you charge. You charge based on the amount of demand there is for your services, nothing else. So from the squeeze component, let's say we've got the emails up here. Now, the first point of call people think is to book people in for sales calls. Now, let me tell you this from my experience. I've never done a sales call, so maybe don't listen. You don't want to do the sales call. They don't want to do the sales call. You don't want to sell for an hour. They don't want to be sold to for an hour. Even if your success rate is high on this, what are you comparing it to? Are you running a split between this and a landing page or whatever it is? I'm just not sure. I have some concerns with sales calls. First of all, empty diary effect. If your diary's empty, they're going to think you're rubbish. If it's full, they can't get a time and they end up leaving the funnel and joining someone else. A lot of people use high pressure, and a lot of people actually withhold information from someone because they want to give them the information on the call. I'm just going to tell you a quick story. I built a shower outside my house. I didn't, someone else did. Copper shower, hot water, beautiful, loads of pressure. I'm out there showering in the morning. It was supposed to be to wash when I come back from the beach. It's now become my number one shower. My neighbors said, that's a lovely shower. Do you mind me asking how much that is? I go, not a problem. The issue is I don't know. I wanted the shower so much. I just told the guy to come and install it. Didn't get an invoice for a few days. And they said, can you let us know how much it was? I go, sure, the second I find out. I said, do you want his number? They go, no. We don't want his number. We just want to know how much it is. I end up getting the invoice, paid the invoice, said to them how much it was. They go, great. We're going to get in touch. He came out the other day and he's going to install a shower for them. The only thing that helped them make a decision was the price. And once they find out the price, they knew what it was, they booked. If people don't know your prices and you're withholding it to a call before you tell them, you're going to get a lot of people that go, oh my God, that's more than I was expecting. And they're going to waste your time. Whereas if you just show your pricing and be proud about it, like my business mentorship right now is $3,500, which is still a steal. But I'm telling you that right now. So those of you that can't afford that, don't join. That's the beauty of it. I'm not going to wait until you're on a high pressure sales call, which couldn't happen because we don't do sales calls. But instead, it seems moronic to me to get people to go through to a sales call. If you need to chat to someone for an hour to think if something's good or not, it can't be that good. What you really need to send them to is a landing page. And there is a certain format that you want to use for this to work really well. And by the way, if you want not only a copy of this, but a way more detailed breakdown, I'm going to put a link to the description where you can just take full advantage of this. This has helped people make a lot more money and they've never had to pay me any money to get it. I will accept a bit of branding at the top, but so many people way do overkill with this. So imagine when I land on a page with a mobile or desktop, and please optimize them for both, because people in my generation use their laptop. I won't pay off my Amex unless it's on my laptop. I don't buy stuff unless it's on my laptop. I don't buy plane tickets unless it's on my laptop. So some people fall prey to the fact that they have such a big bit of branding here that all I get is the heading and subheading, or I might just get the heading and it just looks a bit naff. So branding, acceptable, but really that should be at the top. Heading, what is it? Subheading, give me a bit more context. Declan, give me a service, business, something like that. Lawn mowing. Okay, a bit of an interesting one to do online, but let's say people want to know how to mow their own lawns. Yeah. Heading, stop wasting money on landscapers. Stop wasting money when you could do it yourself. Make your lawn perfect yourself. These are the kind of titles I'm thinking. Then the subheading would be, learn everything you need to know about fertilizer, cut lengths, mowers. I don't know much about fucking landscaping, etc., so that you can have the perfect lawn without having to pay a stranger to come around and do it for you. Better yet, enjoy the process. Cool. Then we would have the VSL. My name's Dave and I run Dave's Lawns. Over the years, I've worked in thousands of properties and there's been a problem. That problem is I think most men actually want to take care of the lawns themselves, not have a stranger come out and do it for £50 an hour. So I created this program, and this program teaches you everything you need to know so you can do the lawn whenever you want, however you want. You can get whatever type of grass, whatever it is. pricing. You can join this program or this program, then the footer. There is a bit more that needs to go there, but I'm going to save that for you guys to download this as an asset. Again, Dave's brand for his logo isn't really going to be doing much lifting up here. The heading's going to be the best part. And, you know, let's say you're a boxing coach. Get boxing fit. Train like a professional boxer. Subheading. Boxing gyms are very intimidating, and the truth is you can get almost all of the results doing it from home. This program, XYZ. VSL. Tell them what it is. Tell them what they get. And actually, there is the format you want to get in your VSL and actually the rest of the page. What it is. So many people, hi, my name's James, I'm a personal trainer from No one cares. Just tell them what it is, why they need it, so the stranger doesn't come around and mow their lawn and shag their wives. What they get, is it a course? Is it a service? Is it one-to-one calls or whatever? This is an interesting one, why to believe you. Now, when it comes to why to believe you, it's either money back guarantee, testimonials, or both. If you can put both of those in, you can crush. People in my mentorship, they find this crazy. They've been brainwashed into doing it such a different way. They can't believe that when you give people all that information, tell them how to pay, and especially if you have a money back guarantee, you just send people to a website and they buy. Again, if you get that template, it makes your life so much easier. And then once you have your offer like this, you can send it email. You could then even have a quiz as a marketing funnel and send them this. You could even have an autoresponder that when people DM your page that it sends them about it. There are so many ways you can do this. Not to mention, from an ads perspective, you can retarget all the people that visit and then don't leave. Then you can have an abandoned cart sequence. Some people go through the process of buying. Then if they leave, you can have a follow-up email sequence and get them. I cannot stress this to people enough. If you can create an audience, people that are interested in your stuff, and you get 20% of them on email, then you send that 20% of people with this. It's going to have a phenomenal rate to the amount of sales that you can make. Let me show you in real time. Social, you're watching this video on YouTube right now. Those of you that want the landing page template are going to be squeezed, and I'm going to email you with more things that you can do to your landing page. Out of those of you that get the asset, I'm going to sell to you. I'm going to sell you an offer. If you don't buy the main mentorship and buy something smaller, I'm going to scale by selling you something bigger come the end of it. And also, I'm going to bypass the whole thing and give you a link to just join my course right now. This is me selling my shit right in plain sight because it's important. For you to understand that you can change your audience from viewers to buyers, I must at the same time turn this audience from viewers into buyers. If you got this for free, imagine what you get if you pay me. If you learn that, you'll be fine. As long as you do not fall into the one trap that a lot of people do is thinking they need to earn $100,000 a month in business, because that is probably the biggest brainwashing scam going in the whole business self-help guru community right now. And if you have been led to believe that you need to make 6 figures a month, well, I need to de-brainwash you. Is that even a thing? De-brainwash you? If you watch this short video here, whether you're earning 1,000, 10,000, or 50,000 a month, you can save yourself a lot of time, energy, and frustration. Because if you've even just thought that you would like to earn 100K a month, that's going to screw you up unless you understand this framework that I put in this video right here. So enjoy and click that.